Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another round of sound. This is the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Bob Pompeani. We got a lot to get into today. This is the legal tampering period. It begins tomorrow. Free agency officially begins on Wednesday at 4 o'clock, but we're going to know a lot of deals. We're here to talk about some of what's already gone on and what will go on in the NFL. We'll also get into the Penguins, a very big weekend for them. 4 points, and they got them all. But the #1 topic tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown is going to be March Madness, and the brackets are out. We now know that for the first time since 2011, Pitt, Penn State, and West Virginia have made it. Here to discuss is your panel tonight. We have Jeff Hathhorn from 93.7 The Fan, the man in charge, sports director, and Mr. Chris Mack from the Fan Morning Show, 93.7 The Fan. And you're up late with us, Chris. We appreciate that.
Well, thanks for having me.
So let's get right into it. I'm going to start with this question. It's probably unpopular around here, but I never look at play-in games as you're part of the tournament until you win the play-in game and then you get in the tournament. So Pitt is faced with that on Dayton Tuesday night, Jeff.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, do you see them as a tournament team even though they haven't yet begun the tournament, and these two play-in games will decide who does make it?
I do. If they were a 16 seed in a play-in, you could make that argument with me. But as an 11 seed, that means there are, what, 20 teams above them or below them, however you want to phrase it. So I do think Pitt is in. They're just having to play their way in. They're going to have to play an extra game.
I also choose to look at it, too, from the perspective of what were the expectations going in. I don't think every team should necessarily look at it that way, but if you would have talked about Pitt at the beginning of the year, we were talking about, what, 14th in the ACC, right? And this has been a lot of what we've talked about over the last week or two is expectations and how expectations change. And sure, they did change, and I think a lot of us expected them to give a better showing in the ACC tournament, not to get blown out by Duke the way they did. That was disappointing, but they're in the tournament. And even if it's a play-in game in Dayton, I look at it and say, they're in, man. For their purposes, based on what they were supposed to do this year,
well,
yes, I give it to you. You're in.
Would Oklahoma State, would Rutgers, would Vanderbilt, would Michigan, would North Carolina all love to be in the play-in game? They look at Pitt as in the NCAA tournament, and they're not. So that's how I
Okay, that's fine. I just don't look at it that way. I think you have to win this game to get to the tournament, which starts on Thursday. It doesn't start. This is made for TV. And I get it. I work in a TV business. You guys know how it works. There's money available, so that's why they do it. But let's talk about the matchup now. Pitt against Mississippi State. And then if they win, they go to Greensboro and take on Texas A&M. No, who do they take on?
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Texas A&M goes for Penn State. We'll get into that in a second. But first, let's talk about Mississippi State. They have a better NET than Pitt does. They play a better schedule, in my opinion. Do you think they could beat this team?
I mean, they're 8-11 or 8-10 in the SEC this year. SEC is pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to dispute that. They don't have any. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't think they have any great wins. They have a center that's really good. He averages 15.8,
I think.
about 8.5 rebounds a game. But they don't shoot the three well. They only shoot the three at 26%. And they've got 3 guys that have 30 made threes. So you might be able to collapse in on that big guy and allow them to try to beat you from 3. And if Pitt gets hot from 3, I think this is a good matchup for them.
Yeah, it's interesting. It'll either go really well, I think. It'll be one polar opposite or the other, because in either one of these first 2 matchups, both of these 2 teams, Mississippi State and Iowa State, are top 10 in adjusted defensive efficiency, according to Ken Pom. So Pitt's going to have to, like you said, Jeff, they're going to have to get hot from 3, I think, and hope to make it a run-and-gun affair. And then, I mean, I don't want to build the expectations up even higher, but if they somehow get through these 2 games, then you go up against who? Probably Xavier, right? Xavier's the 3 seed.
Sean Miller.
Yeah, and that's another team that loves to
Richie.
shoot. Yeah. Another team that loves to shoot, another team that loves to score. I'd love to see Pitt somehow get through at least one of these, get through Dayton down to Greensboro, and then see what happens against Iowa State, and kind of put that ACC Big 12 thing that's been talked about all year to the test.
I guess it's good that Pitt lost so they have a little bit more time to rest. But you find out Sunday night and you're playing Tuesday night against a team you know nothing about. I mean, this is a quick turnaround. They got to travel tomorrow, get into practice, and then boom, go at it. Maybe there is an advantage to that you're not overthinking it, that you just have to go in and get the basics and play basketball, because one of the things they've been missing recently is playing basic fundamental defense and rebounding.
All right, let's talk about, there's a potential we can see Pitt and Penn State in a Sweet 16 matchup? Maybe. Penn State is the hottest team going in, and man, they gave Purdue all they could handle today. Purdue ended up winning that Big Ten championship by 2. However, Chris, Penn State's a team that I could see them doing some damage. So they do have Texas A&M. Of these 3 teams, I'll throw West Virginia in there as well, because I think West Virginia is built for a tournament like this. Which one do you think has the most likely chance of moving on deep into the tournament?
I do think it's West Virginia because of the battle-tested nature of every Big 12 team that's in this tournament. I mean, they've been through it all. I mean, it is just a gauntlet of a regular season in the Big 12. And so, you know, a few weeks ago, I predicted there would be 2 or 3 teams, multiple teams from the Big 12 end up in the Final Four. I just think all of these teams are built to go on runs in the postseason. I know Kansas looked terrible yesterday, but I look at it and say, what the heck did they have left to play for at that point? They had the 1 seed secure. The Big 12, ACC fans don't want to hear it, Jeff, but the Big 12 is the best conference in basketball this year, and I think each and every one of those teams is primed to go on a run.
But I don't think most ACC people I talk to, they don't have a problem with the Big 12. It's the Big 10. It's even the SEC to an extent. It's Creighton getting all this love as a 6th seed. And who have they played? I think they have 1 or 2 quad 1 wins this year. They haven't done well on the road, whereas Pitt has. So I think that's more the complaint, not the Big 12. I think the opportunity is also for West Virginia, even though they have Alabama in their face. I think their suffocating style, and they've got a guy in Stevenson that if he were to get hot, I think they can do some good.
And I know Alabama looked good in the SEC tournament, but down the stretch in the regular season with everything that team is facing, trying to keep from getting distracted with everything going on with Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller has handled it just fine. He's seemingly unfazed by all of this. But everyone else on that team has had moments where it looks like they've been affected by this storm going on around them. They found themselves in the SEC tournament, but I don't know how well that carries over into the NCAA tournament.
We have about 30 seconds in this segment. I'll ask you this. How did Pitt get a worse seeding than NC State? Only because I asked this because they beat NC State at NC State this year. They finished ahead of them in the standings. What more do they have to do to get a better seed, Jeff?
Well, I don't think they look at the head-to-heads, because if they did, Clemson beat NC State 3 times and Clemson's out.
How does that make sense?
Vanderbilt beat Pitt, Clemson beat Pitt,
but they say
out.
That's a big part of how they look at things.
You know, I wish I could sit in that room just one time and hear it. And by the way, Ron Cook would love that tie you're wearing.
Northwestern. They got
still
in,
alive,
even though Penn State beat them. But what are your take on that? I mean, it doesn't make sense. The head-to-head should count a lot more than it does, apparently.
It should. Wins and losses should count. Head-to-head should count. We shouldn't be elbow deep in metrics, I don't think, unless you're really getting down to the nitty-gritty of breaking a tie. Maybe they looked at these 2 teams as essentially tied and disregarded, like Jeff said, the head-to-head. That has to be the case because, again, how does Clemson not end up in? How does Vandy not end up in?
Or Rutgers beat Indiana and Purdue.
Right,
exactly.
all of them.
So, I mean, look, as long as we're relying more on metrics than the eye test, I think we're going to have these arguments
and
forever.
it's hard to explain. There's no good way to explain it. Anyway, we're going to talk about the NFL coming up because it is tampering season legally. You can do it. No penalty. We'll talk about that later. We got the Penguins and the Rangers. Penguins big 4 points. It's all coming up right here on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.
#1 Cochran Sports Showdown is brought to you by #1 Cochran. Go one better.